Hello. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. I think we're good.
Yeah, okay. Why don't we get rolling? So thanks for coming out, everybody. Let's just get right rolling with it. So thanks a lot, Liz.
Okay.
Better.
So, hi everyone. Quick show of hands. Who here are Ruby devs? Ruby devs. Nice. Any new Rubies here? Oh, JavaScript. It's fine. It's fine. For this topic, you don't need to worry if you're not a Rubyist because it will work whatever your tech stack is. So for the devs, to be honest, who mess up their code ever in their dev life? Raise your hands. Wow. Wala. Grabe, ang galing niya naman. Share niyo naman kung paano niyo nagawa. Pero I know for a fact na in our dev life, at least once, may na-mess up talaga tayo in our code. So, and what's that? We all have that moment that we broke the code and we hope that Git could save us. So, before we start, I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm Lish from Nara Labs and I'm gonna discuss about how to Git your way. So because no matter how beautiful our code is, if we don't know how to get our way around, things can get pretty messy. Pa tayo? Wait lang. So first, what is Git? Git is a distributed version control system that tracks code changes, enables collaboration, and keeps your project history safe. So you can think of Git also as a ultimate time machine of your code. So every commit is like a snapshot. If something breaks, you can go back in time. Branching can let you experiment freely without messing up your main project. And also, when the time to bring everyone's work together, Git helps merge changes smoothly and resolves conflicts so nothing gets lost. So overall, Git is an essential tool for modern software development, providing powerful version control capabilities that help teams work together effectively. Git is a powerful tool, but it can also be frustrating. Knowing the right tricks will make it a lot less scary. By the way, Git is created by Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux system. So beyond the basics, most of us know the basic commands of Git, and it's fine. But there are a lot more hiding under the hood. Next, we'll dive into some techniques that can speed up your workflow, protect your code, and make you more efficient. So smarter habits before committing. So before you hit Git commit, let's be intentional. We just don't commit blindly. We should make sure we know what exactly is going on. So we could use the Git status or Git diff to see what changed and make sure it's exactly what you want to commit. We use Git add partial to precisely select specific modification. It keeps your commit clean and focused. And we also use logs. We visualize our history using Git log with the flag, one line, and graph. So it's like a map for our project's evolution. Thoughtful commits makes our history meaningful, easier to read, and way less painful when you need to track or fix something later. So some may not agree with me, but I think it's perfectly fine to make multiple commits while you're developing because you can think of them as a personal log of what you did. So, but once you've worked and your work is ready to be merged on main, I think it's smarter to squash those commits into a single clean commit that keeps your project history tidy, meaningful, and much easier to understand later. So next, juggling work in Git. We'll explore how using stash and work tree makes multitasking in Git even easier. So what is stash? Sometimes you're in the middle of task and need to switch branches or fix something else, but your changes aren't ready to be committed. That's when Git stash comes in. It temporarily saves your uncommitted changes so you can pause mid-task without messing up your branch. So once you're ready, you can bring your changes back with git stash pop. You can also label your stash. You can also stash change or unchanged stash. You can also stash your stage or unstaged changes or even untrack files. And we could also create a new branch from stash using git stash branch. You could think of it as a clipboard of code changes. You put your work aside, grab it back when ready. Then the next is git work tree. Git work trees let you have multiple working directories for the same repository. This means you can work on different branches at the same time without consistently switching or stashing changes. Each tree is independent. Changes in one don't affect the others. So one use case of it is imagine you're working on a feature, then suddenly a bug comes in and you need it to be fixed. With the normal Git workflow, you have to stash your changes or commit a half-baked work before switching branches. So with Git work tree, you can create a separate directory for the main branch, fix the bug there, and commit and push. And while your current work or your feature branch is in your original directory. I'll show you how that works. So I'm gonna show a demo on how to use the stash and work tree. So for example, I'm on my schedule branch. Then I'm gonna put
Did you take that?
sorry. It's an alias on the I think it's
Did you make the alias or is it like included?
it's already included.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try to git check out. Okay. So I'm currently on my schedule branch, and for example, I'm gonna add something here. Paragraph from schedules on home. Okay. So currently I'm on schedule page, and for example, I updated this. Welcome to PH log. So when we stash, what happens is it saves your changes temporarily on this stash. So we could put git stash. It will So as you can see here, it's a save working directory. You could return it by using git stash pop. Another thing, we could put a label on the stash. For example, I'll add a custom label here. So when we check on the git stash list, you can see here that it has it changed to the custom label. We could also return it back without popping it by using git apply. Git apply. Sorry, git stash apply. So the changes appears here, and when you check on the stash list, it's still on the list and not removed. For example, I also want to stash an untracked file. I'll add in the logs because it's untracked. So I created a log file. If I add git stash A means all, so it will include also untracked files. So the stash demo got removed. So I'm gonna return it back. Okay. So that's for stash, and I'm gonna show you how Workly works. So for work tree, for example, I'm working currently on schedules, then suddenly there's a bug in main that needs to be fixed. So to create a work tree, the command is git work tree add. Then this is the directory directory that it will be saved, hotfix directory. Then the next is the branch. So since it's from the main, I'm gonna check me. So to see your active work tree, you can type git work tree list. So you can see I have two different work trees. One, the schedules is my original tree, and the work directory is my current one. Is the work tree. So to show you that it's working on a different directories, I'm gonna go to the hotfix directory, then change sorry. This is a change from hotfix directory. Then we can run it on a different server separately from the original branch. So if I run wait lang. Yeah.
Is your stash shared across all work trees?
Sorry,
Is your stash shared across the work trees?
I don't think so. It's a separate
Each have those.
there, yeah. So if I'm gonna run a server from the hotfix directory, it will run on wait. Let me retry again. Nasaan na ba ako? This is currently my hotfix directory. I'm gonna run real server port 3001. Then on my main directory, I'm gonna wala kasi ako. So I'm gonna go back to the original. So if I run the git real server on the 3000 port, so on my original directory, the label is still welcome to PHRUG. Then on the hotfix directory, I added the change that it's from the hotfix directory. As you can see, it's run from a different server. So you can work on it by parallel. So even if you're working on your own feature, you could work by parallel. I'll go back to the. So next, when the branches collide. So rebase in a nutshell, it reapplies your commits on top of the other branch as if you have started there. So why it matters? It keeps history linear and clean, makes it easier to follow project history, and lets you adjust when base branch changes. So this is actually my favorite command, the interactive rebase, because it's like you're taking control of your commit history before sharing it. You can reorder, squash, drop, or edit commits to make your timeline cleaner and more meaningful. So for example, in this use case, when you run git interactive head tree, it opens an editor and allows you to manipulate the last three commits, where you could order, combine small fixes, or even remove unnecessary commits entirely. So going back to the demo, I'm gonna remove my
You
other.
you have two multiple work trees Your commits are still going on to the main branch. Like from either one, if you make changes and then you commit, it'll all be on the same branch. The work trees don't have separate branches to be made.
Yeah, they don't have separate branches. You have to commit and push it to the repository before the other work tree got
So
the
you make-
changes from the other one.
Yeah. So if you make it commit from one work tree, do you have to do something to pull those into the other work tree?
Yeah. Just an heads up, I'm actually also using the GUI. Actually, I'm using the old school Git GUI and Git K. So, mostly, I still forgot the commands actually on the command line.
Know about the Git GUI.
It's very old school.
We'll look at that after.
So, for example, schedule. Then I'll make another or add additional schedules. So when using Gitly interactive rebase, you're just gonna put the I flag and put where you want to rebase it. So in this case, I would just like to reword for example, I just want to squash this commit. So when we run it, it will just combine the two commits. I'll just add a squash commits of schedule branch.
What's Git K?
It's an interface for the logs. Okay. But actually, I think Cursor has its own. There are also other GUIs for Git. I'm just used to using this. So yeah, from the two commits a while ago, we squash it into one. So wait, where's that? So next is shifting the base with rebase onto. So as a dev, have you ever rebased a branch only to hit a wall of conflicts? Because the upstream branches will squash into main, changes all its commit history or hashes. So when using the normal Git rebase, it still causes problems because Git sees the squash commits as a new change. So we could use the rebase onto to fix that. So onto flag lets you cleanly detach the child branch from its base. It also saves times by avoiding resolving conflicts caused by squash or merge conflicts. So I have two cases here wherein branch 1 is branch out from main and we branch out the branch 2 from branch 1. The branching is sequential. So in this scenario, branch 1 is merge into main and squash. So the history here is altered. And since it's already on main, we want the branch 2 to be rebased to main because that's the latest change. So when we run git rebase main, it will cause conflicts. So this command basically tells us take the commits of the branch 2, which is CD, that are not in branch 1 and rebase them into main. So when we rerun it, this will be removed and the history will be the commit in main, the squash branch 1, and this commits. So for the other case is where the branch 2 was branched out from branch 1 that is diverged. So in this case, we also added the git merge base. So git merge base is, it helps you find the common ancestor of the two commits. And when you find it, the common ancestor, it works also almost the same with the first scenario. So I'm gonna do a demonstration. For example, I'm going to add another schedule in this branch. Then I'm gonna branch out from schedules branch. I'm gonna put past events. So for example, add another. On our log, so we branch out from the schedules, the past events, and we want, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna merge the schedule branch into the main. Then I'm gonna rebase the past events into the main branch. So for example, then I go to main. Wait, git works 3. I'm just gonna remove my old work. Setup main. So I'm gonna git merge, wash, schedules. Gonna commit schedules. Then I'm just gonna add a tag on the latest one. Tag is the version of your code. Wait, wait, tag add 0.0.3. So I'm gonna put a tag message, schedules. So it's just the version of your code actually. It's the current version of your code. We're just gonna put a tag on it.
Like a version of it or?
Yeah, it's a version of it.
So if you were to pull that up on GitHub after you push it, and you clicked on that commit, it would have that tag beside it on
Yes.
GitHub?
If you push it, the tags.
Oh, you gotta push the tag separately?
Yeah, you need to. But you can create a tag on the GitHub actually, under releases. You could also do that. Yeah. Usually when we push our commits to main, on the production, we add the tag so we could exactly know what version currently our app is. Yes. So right now, I'm gonna go back. Sorry, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run git rebase onto main, schedules and past events. So when we go to the past events, when you check the logs of past events, initially it has the old commits of the schedules page. Now, when we rebase it to main, the old commits got removed and only rebase the commits that is part of the past events branch. So that's it. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my slide.
Can you pull that up again for a sec?
Okay.
Okay. I noticed you had some tags there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then,
I'm sorry.
and main was attached to 0.03, but nothing was attached to those old ones, so. Is that like? No, oh, okay, yeah.
No,
So-
no.
so you-
Main is this is the commits from the feature branch I'm currently on. So it
So
was-
then some future. okay, you'll-
Yes. Yes, that's correct. Okay.
Do you have more than one tag or is it only one at a time?
Yeah, we could add more than one tag on a commit. So for example, on the version 3, it's I'm gonna push it for as an hotfix. What? I'll just create a sample tag. Sorry. For example, I'm gonna check out the last tag, the version 3. I could still add a tag there. Hit tag, add. For example, there's a hotfix. Hotfix. Just a sample. So as you can see on the log, it has attached two tags. All right. So for my next topic, so usually people ask what should we use, Git, rebase, or merge. So in the process, rebase rewrites the history by reapplying the commits and creating a linear history, while Git merge only changes the target branch and creates a commit, preserving the history of the source branch. So we should use Git merge if team collaboration and safety are more important than tidy history. Or you want to preserve the full history of both branches, including its context. Or your team prefers simpler or less risky workflow. Or you want to avoid the risk of rewriting the history. And you could use Git rebase if you want to clean up commit history before merging. A linear, easy to read history is important to the team. Or you want to combine or reorder commits using interactive rebase. Or if your team is comfortable with Git and understand the risk of rebasing shared branches. So when things go wrong, Git comes to the rescue. It recovers lost work, avoid repeating mistakes, and track down bugs faster than ever. Debugging and recovery made simple. So reflog, the hidden journal of Git. If you thought you lost your commit forever, you could check the reflog before panicking. Reflog keeps the hidden records of all Git actions, commit checkouts, and even more. Even if a branch is deleted or commit seems gone, reflogs let you travel back in time. And you could recover lost work, undo mistakes, or find that commit you accidentally rewrote. You can think of it as a secret backup, always keeping it real so lost commits aren't really lost. Next is one of the underrated superpowers of Git, RERE, short for reuse recorded resolution. Every time you resolve merge conflict, Git remembers your solution. When the same conflict comes up again, Git automatically applies the fix for you. This is a lifesaver for long-lived branches. Instead of repeating the same conflict resolution, you solve it once and Git takes care of the rest. You could think of it as a Git developing muscle memory for your conflict fixes, saving time and keeping your workflow smooth. Later, I'm gonna show them on how to do that. Then, last is debugging with Bisect. We've all been there, tracking bugs that pop up somewhere, and it feels like looking a needle in the haystack. That's where Git Bisect comes to the rescue. You start telling Git a commit that it's good and that is bad. Then Git helps you test the commits in between, cutting the search in half until you pinpoint the exact commit that introduces the bug. It's like the detective on your team who quickly narrows down suspects instead of randomly checking commits one by one. Okay. So I'm gonna do a demo with first reflog. So for example, I want to delete this commit. I'm gonna do a hard reset. Git reset hard head 1. So to recover that commit, we could check the git reflog. So you can see here the history of what you did. So I want to get the old commit. Wait, reset, check out, replace commit. So I want to restore this commit. So you could do is to check first if it is the actual commit. We're gonna check out that head. So here I've retrieved the deleted commit. Then to save it back to the branch, I'm gonna check out on my branch, which is past events. Then I'm gonna run git uh sorry git uh git reset hard to the ano. So we're currently on the oh shoot it restored a different wait I'm gonna do another thing. For example, I'm gonna create two commits. Past events. Add another past events. Sorry. I'm gonna reset again the first one. Reset hard head 1. So if I check git reflog, I want to restore this commit. So I'm gonna run git reset hard, then the head of the deleted commit. So the head now, the commit now is re-added back again to the past events, as you can see on this log. So here. So that's for the reflog. I'm gonna show you demo for git re again with this branch. I'm just gonna do a different. Just create a different branch. Branch. Hold on. Gonna create it. I don't. Patalo. Not a valid. Yep. So, So for example, for the demo for Gitli, I have it to different branch and I'm gonna, for example, update title of the homepage. Welcome to PH Log from home one. The title from home one branch. Gonna check out the home to branch. I'm gonna update the same title. Welcome to PH Log from home to branch. Or I'm just gonna remove this. Update home title from home branch. So to enable git really, you need to run, you need to add the really to the config by running this command. So if you check that git config, it is enabled there. And the recorded solution will be, sorry. And the recorded solution will be added on the RR cache. So for the demo, for example, I'm gonna go to the first branch, home one. Then I want to, for example, merge the home to branch, which we both updated this. Git merge home to. At first, since it's not yet recorded, Git will ask you to resolve first your conflict. So I'm gonna accept the changes from the incoming change, which is this, welcome to PH Log. So to check if Git really is working, I'm gonna reset this. And merge again the same branch. So I'm gonna merge again home 2. On the note, it shows there's a conflict, but it is resolved by the Git really. But it's not yet stage, or it's not yet stage. You still need to double check it. It's better to double check it, and if it's correct, that's the time you commit it. So I'll just commit it. So that's it for Lily. And for Git bisect, I just for para mabilis. So to run git bisect, run git bisect start. So it will ask you to give it the good or bad commits. So usually the latest is the bad commit. Git bisect. I'm gonna add bad. So for example, the version, the oldest version is the good commit. Git bisect good. So I'll just add the tag. So what git bisects do, it cuts the commits into half and find the bad commit. So for example, in this so currently we're on this head. So for example, we test it and we find that it's a bad commit. We'll type git bisect bad. So we have another, it cuts into half. We check out to another branch. And for example, this commit is a good commit. Git bisect good. So what happens is the last commit that we checked out is the bad commit. So bisect cuts it into half. So to reset it, just run git bisect reset. So the bisect log stuff is now removed. Okay. So to wrap it up, to stay in control with our commits, we use status, diff, or log. When switching tasks smoothly, we use stash work tree. When recovering tools, we use reflog, re-release, bisect for debugging, and keeping history clean with rebase and merge. So that's it. And are there any questions? Ay, thank you.